Meta chart. So right here, I'm actually going to talk about the things that I already have indicated here on the chart. Um, the pink line represents the QQQ index, and seeing how Meta has outperformed majorly, uh, like way outperformed the QQQ here. As you see, this is just like insane run by Meta, and it's especially coming after so much that the stock has endured throughout the past 4 years. And this is actually what I'm going to get into. I have these things highlighted here. And before I actually start mentioning the key points why I'm short on Meta, just want to just take it all the way back to 2020. Now, you see, I always say once you see these large, bold candlesticks here, they will always, more than likely, always will be retraced. It doesn't matter if it's above the current trading price or below. And what you see, this was drawn out for some time here from 2018 all the way into 2020, where you see that top from 7/22 2018 get matched right here, not once, two times, three times, going into 2021, 26, 2020. That is saying something there. I'm not really going to touch too much on that, but as I said, the information is always in a chart before uh before the news hit the market. But this nice drawdown, which again at the bottom here, of course, a lot of buyers step in. I'm going to remove this indicator, but um, or the QQQ comparison, just so we can look at Meta's numbers. So you see here this 147, and I actually am going to wrap around to this a little later. This price value right here, but again, these buyers stepped in. This is at the exact same time though. So Facebook at the time, still Facebook, but Meta at the time was actually going through a lot, and it was more so financially. And throughout this entire thing, Meta was having uh, these revenue issues. Let's see. So right here, Facebook's three biggest challenges in 2020 have up some news clippings about typically what Facebook was pretty much facing, and obviously Zuckerberg had to shake some things up to pretty much bring that revenue in strong. I guess it started to spook the market for sure, just due to the fact that everyone started to feel like Facebook was going broke. As you see here, the stock still made this nice 380 move before selling off. But again, once that happened, uh, the thing that occurred, which was this right here. Facebook changes company name to Meta, which should line up with the stock. Actually, I'm going to bring this up just to make sure. Yes, right in 2021, um, pretty much the name change happened. Definitely spoke the market a whole lot more, just due to the fact everybody definitely thought like, well, changing the name of the company this late in the game, also the business strategy, and pretty much Zuckerberg putting massive amounts of money into the metaverse, which to me still has not kicked off yet fully. And the people just has not actually integrated into using this type of headset technology. But again, everything is in the stock way before the news hit. The stock sold all the way off down here. And this specific area, now I'm just going to tie back right to this 2020 zone. Again, buyers will step in down here. But what made this drastic turnaround happen was the first initial mention of the TikTok ban, which actually happened in 2020. But when it started to get serious, because TikTok is definitely a threat to the social media sector for US companies. And once the ban of TikTok actually started to grow some legs, Meta had seriously taken off from these lower levels. The value of the company changed, and it was because with the ad revenue being threatened at TikTok, uh has no choice but to flow back into Meta. And again, as you see from these lower levels in 2022, it literally shot up and continued to move up. And this is all based off of the banning of TikTok. All of this from this 88 level all the way to current price 714. Um actually have this up here, the timeline. It doesn't really say everything between 2020 and 2024. But down here it actually gets more so into it, to where these timelines actually start to make a whole lot more sense. And the reason why Meta actually got this motivation, or investors got this motivation to actually start buying up the stock, besides the price value, because it was very attractive around this price. I had actually owned the stock here, the commons here, at this low price. I wasn't always bearish, but again, once you start figuring this is all of this momentum is literally based around TikTok at the current price, the current price that Meta is trading at, I do not feel like it could actually persist. It could go on. And here's the now getting into the key reason why. As you see, the US is trying to save TikTok from being banned. TikTok is definitely a force to be reckoned. The young people, 170 million users, daily active users. A lot of money being made on TikTok, and obviously not digging too much into it, but the information that it holds. So TikTok is seriously valued at a tremendous amount here. And as you see all over the newswire, um, people are pretty much scrambling to save the stock. So pretty much, or not the stock, the company. So pretty much I'm wrapping my short position all around TikTok pretty much being saved. I don't believe like they will discontinue use of TikTok in the US. So pretty much if that does happen, the entire Meta situation is severely threatened, and this stock will tumble. It's actually already showing these the signs here. This is on a weekly, and this right here is a mini shooting star, which obviously signals a reverse in a stock. As well as we have a couple more. This is a green one, so it will definitely still come down. As you see here, it came down later and pretty much retraced under the shooting star. So you see these all over the stock. So I'm definitely expecting this to come back down towards that 660, and it could honestly continue to fall even more back here to this 550 area. And again, it's if TikTok actually gets the news sooner versus later as a buyout, or somehow they make a deal. Not just that, this I find very interesting, and it's the amount of sales here that has been happening, insiders selling throughout the months. You see February since January, and I think December, yeah, December of last year. This is the most extreme I've seen insider sell. And just looking at how the stock performs once insiders start selling here, you see that the stock actually gets boosted, which I've spoke about this multiple times on VA stock. So it's pretty much live during market hours. Once insiders start selling a bulk, as you see here, you see the initial cost where the proposed sell is at, which is 717, just on Friday, and this hit the line February 7th. So just on Friday, you seen Meta break up into 720 area and then continuously sell off. So as these sales are happening, Algos is trained to pretty much buy up those shares that are being sold. And pretty much if you just look at this, like if algos was not buying these tremendous blocks that are being sold, and this is daily, weekly, the stock would have been crashed. So it's actually interesting to show how these stocks are actually reacting to the massive inside selling here. Um, I just want to point out also that Reddit actually shows pretty much the same thing. And here's the thing. So actually I'm actually jumping forward here a little bit. But Reddit earnings is actually this week as well, 212. And I do believe if Reddit miss earnings, which it could be up in the air, but if Reddit miss earnings or if Reddit pretty much impressed with earnings, obviously the stock would continue to run even higher. And this is including Meta. Obviously that sympathy play off of Reddit. But that slight miss, I do believe Reddit as well as Meta would sell off. And again, it will be due to the ad um, space being threatened. And again, it's by TikTok. So just looking at the inside sales on Reddit here while I'm here anyway. Again, these sales at 201, 184. Reddit has broken out of this decent consolidation area in the 190, 180s, 190s, and then start breaking into multiple all-time highs all in a week. And again, I do believe like a lot of this is due to these inside sales, as you see here, like with these inside sales happening, how the stock performs during these inside sales taking place. Just going to dig into this ad revenue because again, this is exactly why I'm majorly bearish, and it's due to these the ad revenue, and a lot of people have massive money tied up into TikTok. Just going to pull up some videos here that I'm actually going to play. There was this Bloomberg video that I had come across that actually speaks on. Let me see if I can find it. It was Bloomberg Technology. Here it is. So I had passed it.
Don't just take classes, take charge. Start your comeback today at purdueglobal.edu.
Are you worried that
These ads
using
are
your
crazy.
home address for business puts your privacy at risk? At iPostal One,
Mark, let's start with that forecast, the idea that broadly the ad market's growth will slow from 10% to 5% in 2023.
So even though this is 2023, I still believe at the end of the day, like a lot of things will change in the future, but I'm just pulling this up just to give some insight of what was happening and occurring from that 2021, 2022, 2023 as I was speaking about it on Meta. Like I said, I went ahead just a tad bit, but tying it back into that 2022 2023 era, and pretty much I do still believe a lot of this ad revenue and what everyone is using AI for, which a lot of creators are actually gravitating towards it a whole lot more. But I do feel like that is the issue. It's just like anything that is open to the public and then it's free. They made competition for themselves, and I know that's going to come back and bite them bad. So I do feel like there's going to be a whole lot more changes because again, they opened up a whole lot more competition for themselves. Uh, so I'm just gonna sit here and play this video real quick and then jump back into it.
Does that reflect what you're seeing?
Yeah, and it's occurring for a couple of reasons. I think when you look at like paid search and paid social, especially paid social, like we're talking Instagram, yeah, TikTok, those kind of platforms. What you're seeing there, I think, is a lot of concerns about brand safety, around the political discourse on these platforms, and also just the sheer performance. Apple's changed.
That is still happening. The political, yeah, that is still happening majorly on these platforms. 2025, 2024, X, all of that. So
did wind up having an impact. Their changes in terms of identification of devices did wind up having an impact, in particular on Meta and Snap and others. The other thing that's affecting it, when you look at the television market, there's just a supply-demand imbalance. You have a lot